beautiful souls, and welcome to another webisode of my story. In this series, I'm just telling my life story, and I'm going through the best that I can with my memory, and I'm hopefully taking y'all on a journey that is similar to what my life story was. This isn't exactly right, and there is no right or wrong with telling a story, I don't think, but it's, it's just a fictional version of my life story that I tell in 30-minute webisodes. So thank you so much for being here and watching along with me. So where was I? I'm starting to get to the good parts. We had moved into a house. Each of my girls have their own bedrooms, and I'm so excited to begin to help them make their bedrooms their own and to help them find their own space, And oh my goodness, the problems with Zach, they really it really seems like they're reversing, like we have a no contact order and we're working with state police, and it seems like he's gonna go down. I remember, he told me as we were leaving the courtroom, he was like, I will never pay you child support again. And I was just thinking, yeah, no crap. You're going to end up in jail. You're going to jail, But so, yeah, I was prepared for that. I was prepared for there to be no more child support and to just be moving on with our life, which that was perfectly fine with me. And so the girls, they got their own rooms, and I threw like a color party and a home warming party, and I don't know, it's just not a lot of people showed up, the girls, their friends showed up, and one of the girls' moms, and we became really good friends for a minute, so that was cool. I think it's a lot harder to make friends as an adult. I don't know why, but it is. But things were starting to look up, and like I've said before, the other part of the verse, they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony. I was starting to do the Passover in the springtime, and it wasn't the same time as the Jews, because the Jews do it at a different time. There's 12 tribes, and the tribe of Judah is the Jews, and they have Levites, they're rabbis, and I don't know if rabbis are still Levite line. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be the one to ask about that. But yeah, all tribes had Levites, and all tribes have been scattered throughout the earth. So in my mind, like, the earth are God's tribes. They're the people. Humans are God's chosen. To me, it's like you were chosen to have your spirit inside a human body, and our spirit is made of fire. Okay, I'm starting to get into teaching, ain't I? This is what I want to teach you guys. It spills out of me all the time, everywhere I'm going, because I was learning this stuff at this point in my story. I began to start doing the Passover and prayers, and I was really getting to know God, and I started reading the Mazaroth again, which made me so happy. It just made my heart come to life, the fact that I could go outside and read the stars and talk to God, you guys. And I have not seen the moon one time without being like, I love you, moon. I love you, God. I love you, universe. I'm so grateful to be here in this life, in this earth. Just whenever I go outside and I see the night sky, there's something about it. Something about the night sky, and I will soak up the sun all day long if I have the chance. I will soak that sun up. But yeah, I was learning, and one thing about Passover that I love is, there's a preparation period, and there's so much in depth that can be learned from following the biblical holidays. We just don't do it. We follow, and the thing about following the biblical holidays is it is difficult because, like, everybody's off on the pagan holidays that the Christians practice. Everybody's off on those holidays. Nobody's off on the biblical holidays, So it's harder to get people to come together. And it's harder, yeah. So I was beginning that, and I had more mental breakdowns. They were continuing, and I began to do self help really deep. Because I remembered whenever I told my therapist I don't want to have any pills, she said, "Well, then that means that you have to take the therapy really seriously." And I began to start confronting this, why I quit therapy, because I quit therapy because she said, you're no longer BPD, you're CPTSD, we're going to work with that. And I was just so mad that she took away my BPD identity. And there's just there's this part of me through the self-help books and stuff, and a lot of it, I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of it was on YouTube. A whole lot of it was on YouTube. I would follow people like, if I say this one person, you're going to be like, what? But this was like back in the day. He used to have really good content for self-help content. JP Sears, this was before he even did If Meat Eaters Acted Like Vegan video, which was like one of his first comedy videos. Um, so yeah, like way back in the day, JP Sears, Till Swan, um, who else would I follow? This was before Aaron Abke came on the scene. So I don't know. There's a couple people I follow, and I looked up online because I would look up online different things, and I would like follow the worksheets. I would do them. I would actually do the stuff that the YouTubers were saying to do. And one of the things that I looked up online was about self-help, and self-help books, because there's self-help books way before there were self-help YouTubers, and I was buying those books too. And basically it said that, yeah, 80% of people are able to recover their life through self-help, whereas it's 60% that are able to recover their life through therapy. So I'm not saying therapy's wrong. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that were able to find, like what is the goal here? What's the goal? And the goal should be to be able to live a happy, productive life for the most part, and to be able to face challenges, not necessarily with ease, but to be able to face them with understanding and courage. Maybe just to be able to go through them with understanding is enough. And to be able to live a life that you're able to support yourself and others too, I guess is the goal. The goal isn't to be rich, or I don't know, or perfect. Yeah, it's not to be perfect. So, yeah. So, I was getting these self-help books, and I was investing in myself. I learned to invest in myself. And I was continuing and strengthening my relationship with God, with Yeshua at this point, because I'd realized that we had the wrong name, and I'd gone through all the research of all that stuff, and I even, I asked him, because I have a personal relationship, so I asked him, and the answer I got is, it's so complicated, because the way that he talks to me is through my knower, and my knower isn't necessarily my speaker, my talker. So, because I'll know things in my head that I can't speak out. It's hard to explain. There's a nuance in the answer, because he made it clear to me that, like part of the reason why I fell away from Christianity initially, and then I fell way back into Christianity, and then I fell away from Christianity again, is because my initial fall away, it developed such hatred within my soul and within my being, and it's not that hatred that I developed in that process is not a part of me. It's not a part of my overall purpose, my overall where I'm trying to go. So I needed to go back into Christianity to be able to find a place to dissolve that. And it did. Now, even though I'm not a Christian, I have love for Christians, and I say that they're the thing is that Christians don't understand everything that they put is on the Bible. Like, they put everything on this book. And for people outside of the religion, it's kind of crazy because it's like, okay, this old book, and their pushing of it pushes people away. And there's so much, the reason why they love it, there's a reason why they love their book. There's so much gold, so much wisdom, so much real spiritual stuff within it. But you can't, see, here's the thing. I started reading the Maseroth. I was reading the Maseroth with Jesus and with Yeshua. But see, I also will call him Jesus too, because I realized that, does he care about the name? Was what I was trying to see how my brain works. Okay, it's so crazy sometimes. I can't, that's so hard to answer that, because yes, he cares about the name. Yes, it is important to know the name if it's possible to know the name. But for so long, we've been in this dark age where it wasn't possible to know the name, and it was hidden from us. And to say that love can't conquer, like, see, this is my thing. I was always like, please prove to me that love can conquer. Please prove to me that love can conquer. To say that the name is so important, that there's people who during the dark ages that didn't know any better, that had no clue that it could be any other name other than Jesus, to say that all of those are damned, that's not how love works. That's just not. And it's not so important that love can't overcome what was done in the dark ages. I hope that I'm making sense here, because it was shown very clear to me that there are Christians walking with the true Jesus in the church, even though the church worships the false Jesus, which I want to be able to flesh that out eventually, but this was shown clear to me. And with the name, in other words, there are people who love Jesus, and that love is real. And there are people who profess to give a crap about Jesus, and that's as far as it'll ever go. So, is the name important? Yes, for those that can be in the know, that should be in the know, yes. But those that have been in the darkness, no, love can overcome a name. I hope that makes sense. That's the best I can give it for this, so that we can move on. But yeah, so I was developing my relationship with God, and also with the Maseroth teachings, it really, I bought a Sefer, and I started doing the Sabbath every single week, that was the hardest one to do. I was like, why is that so hard? Now it's not so hard. I'm going to get my Sabbath, okay? Like, the only reason that I don't get the Sabbath is the donkey in the ditch. If there's a donkey in the ditch. And sometimes there's a donkey in the ditch, okay? That's the justification. So, and love conquers all. It's always about love, guys. So, oh my goodness. And I was doing my Sabbaths and reading my Sefer on the Sabbath, and reading through the Sefer on the Sabbath while connecting with God, and reading the Maseroth too, which is the stars outside in the sky. And I know how to read it, because you read it by the sun, where the sun goes and everything. And, they teach, astrology is bad though, but we can read the Maseroth, but astrology is bad. And I kind of got into this prejudice against astrologers. Like, I'm better than astrologers because I'm reading the actual where things are, and astrologers are making stuff, I don't even know what they're doing. But I begin to develop that, kind of get snarky about that. The Mazzaroth and reading the Mazzaroth is very much it's side rail, and it's very much equivalent to Vedic, but Vedic there are differences there too. So, but that's where I started was with the Mazzaroth and following the biblical holidays, because the biblical holidays are followed very much by reading. You got to read the Mazzaroth to know when to do the holidays. So, and I don't do the Passover with the Jews. The Jews do the Passover, I think, with the new moon, and I do it with the full moon, I do believe. Or it's vice versa. So, I know, I should know for sure. But I just look at it every year, and I know whenever mine's coming up. Which is typically during spring break. That's what I've noticed so far, and that's pretty cool. I've only been doing this for a couple years, though. So, anyway, I feel like Jesus led me to this one YouTuber, or I should say at this point, Yeshua. Oh, another big key difference that I was trying to point out with those that teach the Mazzaroth and everything. They do not believe that Jesus was the only begotten Son of God. They read it differently, because in old Hebrew culture, to say that you are born of a virgin, you have a virgin birth. Yeah, it's not born of a virgin. It's virgin birth is the term. Virgin birth means you're the firstborn. So, because you're the first one to go through the vaginal canal, no one else has gone through. You were the first one. So it would be that Yeshua was the firstborn, and that he was no more. He was completely human, and he was no more special. He wasn't like a special God. He's no more the Son of God than anyone else is. This can be the Son of God. I hope that I'm making this clear. This is another teaching for another day. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't believe Yeshua is God. I believe Yeshua is an ascended master, and he works with me. My Yeshua is different than the Jesus in the church, but I might say Jesus sometimes, and it gets confusing and mixed up for those under Christianity, and I don't mean to confuse. It just naturally happens. Yes? Alright, sorry about that, guys. Yes, I'm not trying to confuse people. I do want to be clear, but you can't say that every single time you talk about something. I mean, it just wouldn't have made sense up to this point to even mention that, And that's why I have my story. It's why it's my testimony too, because it's showing my experience is different than yours. That's all I'm trying to say here, okay? My experience is different than yours. And whenever I get into teaching, because I want to teach spiritual science, Christian spiritual science too. A lot of the stuff that I learn and teach is Christian mysticism. So, because, Jesus is there, but there is definitely two Jesuses. There's the Jesus, and then there's the anti-Jesus, and that has been made clear in the book. So I hope and I know a lot of the Christians at this point would be like, you're definitely with the anti-Jesus. That's why I have my story. That's why I have my testimony. They overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. I work with the blood of the Lamb. You just profess it. I do it in truth. You don't. My testimony fleshes out my real life experience of working with these two Jesuses. Because now I can see them clear as day, but there was a time where they were fuzzy as wonk for me. They were. It's fuzzy. It's confusing. There's a God of confusion, and there's a God of clarity. And one of us knows the God of clarity. And Yeshua said, you'll know them by their fruit. And let me tell you, every single town in the South, the Bible Belt, has multiple churches in it. Not just one, multiple. And little towns of 200 people will have a Methodist and a Baptist. That is a God of division. That is a fruit of a God of division. I don't care what you say or what you want. That is the fruit of a God of division. I'm not going to get into preaching here. I'm going to go back to my story now. My testimony, where I fleshed out and I learned what the true Yeshua was, which one operates from love and is ascended and helps others become sons and daughters of God into the kingdom of heaven, or which one is causing division, hatred. By their fruit you will know them. And I'm just trying to let you know what I figured out. Okay? So, Yeshua, working with Yeshua, and doing the biblical holidays, he led me to this person, Vicky Howie, on YouTube. And she has this whole thing, chakraboosters.com, where you put symbols on your body to heal, to help heal. And Yeshua was like, this will help heal you. And it was scary, y'all, because everything that I've been taught from the church is that chakras are evil, these symbols are bad. I've been trying to get rid of demons. I've been battling demons. Yeshua knows that. He's been helping me battle demons. He's been showing up. That's another thing. He's been showing up and helping me actually battle these demons, and they're leaving. And then Yeshua tells me, I want you to do the things that I do and did, and I want to teach you how. Just like with the time traveling thing. He was like, you can time travel. He wants me to do the things that he did. That Jesus in the Bible wanted his followers to do the things that he did. The Jesus of the church wants his followers to be little nasty butts. Apparently, by the fruit. The fruit is what I'm looking at here. Not the people. I love the people. Like I said, I fell away from Christianity. I came back in and I fell away again so that I would develop that love for them. Because I didn't have it before, but I have it now. So, this is crazy. I began chakra healing with Vicky Howie, the most wonderful, wonderful teacher that I've ever experienced. Check her out on YouTube, chakraboosters.com. She began this chakra healing journey with me. I was investing in myself, so I was willing to pay, and go through. And I actually did all of these things, and everybody in my life began to say, wow, Misty, you are transforming. Wow, Misty, what's going on? It's like I'm beginning to heal. I'm beginning to become a happy person. And I'm beginning to show up for people that I love that I hadn't showed up for in forever. Because I was so bogged down with this mental illness and depression and fight and figure out stuff. So that's my story. That's my testimony. Is that I was led to what the church says is evil, and it helped heal me. In truth. It was just the beginning. We're just beginning. But in truth, it helped heal me. I went through every single thing, and it was like a transformative experience. And then, whenever it was over, I got sick. I got bad sick. Bad sick. And that's what we'll get into the next time. Because it's like, wait, didn't you say that you were transforming for the better? You were becoming better, showing up for people? Yeah, I did. And after it was all said and done, I thought that I was going to be flying high. But no, I was plunged into hell. Physically. It's so weird. It's a different hell, though, than I was in before. Because, yeah, I got shingles. I got the flu and the shingles, right on top of each other, and it was intense. it was really intense, and it really was like I was plunged into hell. But I want to talk about it. I want to go through the whole thing, but I don't want to. I don't want to start it without being able to really finish it and give it the details that I think that it deserves. Sorry about the preachiness in this one. I did not expect that. I really didn't. I don't try to be preachy. I love you all. I hope that you know that I love you all. It's just really hard with you Christians. Y'all know what you know, and you know what you know, and you go to church every single Sunday, and some even on Wednesdays too, to reinforce it heavier. And I understand that, and I applaud you, and I love you for it. But even Mother Teresa, I've heard the stories of the slaves that she helped enslave. Your fruit is rotten. It's rotten fruit. I've seen the rotten fruit. I've trudged the rotten fruit, and I can't pretend that I haven't. Okay? I love you all. I love you all so much. I hope that you love me too. I know that if you're a Christian and you think I'm going to hell because I believe the way that I believe, then the most loving thing for you to do is tell me that I am. And I appreciate that, and I thank you for it. Again, I'm so sorry that this came out preachy today and did not expect it. It wasn't my plan. My plan was to get to Vicky Howie and to explain how my crazy self got there, it was a crazy ride. And to also express that I began reading the Mazzaroth. I began following the biblical holidays that follow the Mazzaroth. And I began to get cocky about how I know more about the stars than astrologers because they're dumb and they don't know what they're doing. And I would make fun of astrologers. I would just laugh and laugh and laugh about how they think, oh my gosh, a Capricorn believes like this, or, you know. So that's important for the setup for future stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for putting up with my booties. And as always, be blessed with love. As we wrap up this incredible journey together, I want to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. Your energy, your love, and your support have made this My Story series truly magical. And before we part ways, I want to take a moment to thank you for spending your precious time with me. Your comments, likes, and shares have warmed my heart, and I'm endlessly grateful for the connections that we've built. Remember, your energy has created a unique and beautiful community here at the Mystic Hillbilly. Now, as we venture forward, I feel it's essential to address something crucial. Unfortunately, the online world isn't always filled with positive vibes. There are scammers out there who may misuse my pictures and pretend to be me. Please be cautious. I will never reach out to you first. The only way to get a reading from me is by reaching out to my official email or website. If someone contacts you claiming to be me, it's more than likely a scam. I would never ask you to pay for a reading in that way. Remember, I believe in truth, integrity, and the law of attraction. If you're meant to receive guidance from me, the universe will guide you to me and not the other way around. Trust the process and let your intuition be your guide. Before we say our goodbyes, I'd like to humbly ask you for your support. As a new YouTuber, every bit counts. If you've enjoyed our time together, consider donating. The links are in the description. And for just $2 a month, you can unlock exclusive content on my Patreon, including Mystic Message outtakes, full moon and new moon card readings, and a 40-day transformation challenge. Your support would mean the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. Love, love, and more love to each of you. Let's stay connected in the cosmic dance that we call life. Until we meet again, stay blessed, protected, and full of positive vibes. That's all she got.